Welcome to the Pirates Rugby Club right here in Randburg. The new start of a new season. What an absolutely beautiful time. It is the 2025 edition of the Castle Lager Pirates Grand Challenge. Today is the day that we open the season. In terms of the season opener, it is the local team, the Pirates Rugby Club, that will be taking on the Raiders. It's absolutely end-to-end stuff. The crowd is excited. Everyone is excited to kick off the season. Of course, the man to my left-hand side, his name is Fabian Boyson, a man who's won the Junior Rugby World Cup and a man who's familiar with the forward pack. And I would love to get your thoughts. A game that will be important in terms of starting the season on a good note, and it's also one of those where the forward pack will be vital in this encounter.
Yeah, Aaron, it's a great day, great start to the season. We've got two of the top teams in the competition that we're going to be seeing on display here today. Obviously a typical forward, I'm going to love to see that upfront battle. When it comes to the set phases, line-out scrums more specifically, we've had some rain here in Joburg throughout the week. Today, weather looks to be clear and rain seems to be staying away. So it's going to be interesting to see how the scrums, how Liam and the hooker, his opposing hooker, line up at the scrum, really make sure they assert their dominance to reach that dividends in the latter part of the game.
A man to my far right, Ashwin Willemse, a man who's well acquainted with the back line, a man who scored a few tries himself. Ashwin, what are you expecting this afternoon? Some fast-running rugby. It will be a little bit wet and slippery. Are we going to see a few exciting tries in this encounter?
Aaron, I think yes, season opener, so a lot of nerves, and I think once the nerves have settled, I think what we were able to see was, as Fabian alluded to also, is set phase dominance, and once the set phase is laid, then give their backs the opportunity to run with the ball, score some lovely tries. So it'll be good to see in terms of just how does the players gel so early on in the season. How do they soak up the atmosphere and the vibe in it? But for club rugby, I think it's just phenomenal, and so really exciting for the beginning of this season. Looking forward to it.
You talk about an exciting season that lies ahead. The man that stands beside me is the president of the Golden Lions Rugby Union. His name is Neville Jardine. Sir, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Are you excited for the season that lies ahead?
Yes, absolutely. I'm extremely excited, particularly the way the season is going to be kicking off. We've got Pirates, who was champions 2 years ago, finalists last year, and this year they're up against Raiders, who's determined to come back. I think we're going to see a classic here today.
In terms of the two teams that are out in the middle at this point in time, the game is just about to kick off. I know that the Raiders are a team that's close to your heart. I would love to put you on the spot. You can choose not to answer, President. Who is the team that will be taking this game this afternoon?
Well, look, Pirates has got home. They've got a home advantage. But I'm calling it a draw today, so thank you.
It's wonderful. I think I always want to agree with the president, but just for club rugby in general, I think, Mr. President, if you look at it, what does this mean for club rugby in general? Just to be able to showcase it nationally to everyone watching the game.
Yeah, sure. Ashwin, you know, at the Lions, we really try and build our club rugby, and the most important thing for us is to have the integrity of the competition. So when you see the teams running out today, it's going to be grassroots rugby, it's going to be community rugby. No real professionals in our rugby, and the clubs really go at each other. We've got an extremely strong league, probably one of the strongest in the country, and we pride ourselves in building it. You know, we have so many other provinces that actually want to join our league to come and play club rugby at the Lions, because here we take club rugby serious, we take grassroots quite serious, and I can't wait for the kickoff. It's going to be a brilliant game. Yeah, thank you.
Ashwin, I see you smiling from ear to ear. I would like to continue the sentiments that the president has shared. How vital is club rugby in this country, and especially being played at this level? I know that you're a player that went from junior ranks, club rugby, all the way to the Springboks. The opportunities that also lie ahead for the players as they embark on their journey as club rugby players.
I think the role of club rugby in general I think it's just being elevated year by year, and I think we're at a stage now where the opportunity to showcase the talents we have at a club rugby level has gone to a point where you can almost call it is right up there with professional rugby. And from club rugby perspective, it's about giving opportunity. Both myself and Fabian, we're both club rugby players, and we've been able to rise all the way through the ranks. The president talked about just the role of club rugby and what it means. So if you look at Raiders in of itself, and there's so many players that have gone on to play at the higher level, all came through Raiders, You know, I remember when we were young, under 21-year-olds, you go to Raiders and it was a home, away from home for players, even coming from different parts of the country. So club rugby really is critical for just the sustenance. Club rugby is the heartbeat of South African rugby.
Fabian, I would love to bring you in here. We're talking about the importance of club rugby in terms of your personal experience. Touch on your journey and also the ability for you to take vital skills that are displayed in these club rugby games, for you to take those skills into the higher level.
Aaron, I think as the president mentioned, club rugby is really grassroots rugby. It's the heartbeat of rugby in our country. Similarly, playing club rugby at UJ, I used to participate in games at this specific field, this venue, and I can promise you it's rugby that's played for the enjoyment. The president mentioned there's no professional players in the setup, part of the team, so you're purely praying for the love of the game. And with this, with the Castle Lager Pirates Rugby Challenge, it gives you an opportunity for higher honors. And that's what it means to me, what it meant to me back then. Giving yourself, giving your family, you're able to represent them at a stage. It's being televised, so you're being able to be seen, and you're playing it for the love of the game. South Africans, we love rugby, we love our sport, and as we said, it's a heartbeat of our country.
Most certainly. An absolutely beautiful afternoon lies ahead. Club rugby at its finest. This first game, it is the local team, the Pirates Rugby Club, that will take on the Raiders this afternoon. Of course, you can catch the action live on SABC Sports if you've got the app, on SABC Plus, as well as sabcsport.com. Let's move on to the action. We are right here in Randburg at the Pirates Rugby Club. The big game that opens the season, it is the Castle Lager Pirates Grand Challenge. The main boys that we're seeing right now in front of us, it is Pirates taking on the Raiders. At this point in time, we are seeing a line-out for the Raiders. The gentleman that are next to me, it is Ashwin Willemse, a man who has won a Junior Rugby World Cup, as well as Fabian Boyson, as we enjoy this encounter. As we're seeing the Raiders moving the ball so nicely.
It's a bit wet here, Aaron, as we can see. So hoping to see how the players will be able to just sort of find their rhythm in this game. Fabian, so far, early stages in the game, what's your thoughts on what you think is going to happen today?
I know that's very early stages. It's the first game of the season for both of these teams. So I think it's going to be a lot of touch and feel, a lot of new things being experimented. Both teams won all their friendly matches leading up to this game, so really exciting. It's one of the top two teams in the competition, so I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to the upfront battle. Scrums are going to be very important today, seeing that it's quite wet underfoot, and as we see the Raiders opting for the points first up, so we can see how this game's going to go.
Most certainly it is a big one. It is the Raiders taking on Pirates at their home ground. In terms of the history of this competition, we know that Wits is a team that won last season, so both these teams will be hoping to write their names on the trophy this season. In terms of what we're seeing on our screens at the moment, it is the Raiders who are opting to go for points quite early in this encounter. It is just 2 minutes into this particular game. It is John who lines it up. Unfortunately, that's a miss.
Solid effort there by John, just too short, but we mentioned right at the beginning the field being wet and an unforced error there, so it is really the discipline of the Pirates letting them down here. Scrum earlier in this game, Fabian, I think right there, what an attacking opportunity it is for Raiders.
Yeah, brilliant attacking opportunity here, as we've got a middle field scrum. Right now it will be Kampa Khalifa who will be looking to get his guys just to get not even get a shoulder, just get a straight scrum, getting the attacking options on both sides of the field. So really here we want to make sure that we sit up close, the hookers get that break foot back as soon as possible, a clean strike, and for the back five just really to apply pressure going forward.
Unfortunately, the ref asking the lads to stand up. The boys will want to make this one count. It is the first scrum of the game for the Raiders. They're about 5 meters out from the try line. They want to get points on the board early to ensure that they assert their dominance so early on. In terms of the defense from the Pirates Rugby Club, they'll want to make sure that they're tight as possible as we get ready for that scrum. The ball has been put in. They're spreading it wide. The Raiders moving the ball so nicely. The defense scrambling there from the Pirates Rugby Club. The boys are getting physical. Holding that line so nicely. It is Kevin. The defense of the Pirates Rugby Club smiling from ear to ear as the fans get involved.
Solid defensive effort there by Pirates. You could see right from the scrum, Raiders unable to get any forward momentum there, but the defensive line was quite solid, standing their line, defending their try line, and eventually they are putting a lot of pressure at the breakdown, Fabian, you could see there, and it was Raiders holding on to the ball, and a sigh of relief for Pirates in this one.
Yes, Ashwin, as with the new laws, the scrum half not being able to chase the base, the 8th man really had a great opportunity to capitalize on that. Unfortunately, supporting cleaners were just late, similar with the pods coming around the corner and giving the Pirates team opportunity to really get over that ball and getting out of their danger zone.
The Pirates Rugby Club will be looking to make this line out count, wanting to move out of their territory and gain a little bit of momentum. What an absolutely brilliant take in terms of the line out as they kick for distance, gaining a little bit of territory. As the Raiders looking to spread the ball, as we see a nice box kick from Garrick Stead. In terms of the early momentum in this particular encounter, it is the Pirates Rugby Club that are controlling matters quite nicely. They were so close to their try line, almost conceding a try, but the defense held on so nicely. We are at the halfway point in this particular game, halfway mark at the 50 meters as the Pirates Rugby Club are about to kick into touch.
Solid effort by the Pirates to be able to just absorb the pressure so early on. They gave away a penalty. They absorbed the pressure from Raiders right on their try line literally, and being able to just sort of transfer play and put themselves right now in a wonderful attacking opportunity, their own line-out throw just on the 22-meter line of Raiders.
Ashwin, very interesting to see on the 22-meter line, favorable driving opportunity, but Pirates opting to go for a shortened line-out. Obviously looking to attack and expand the game, get into the wider channels.
Pirates Rugby Club have got this ball. They're moving it so nicely, moving one step closer. They're about 20 meters out as they spread that ball.
Pirates using their forwards, trying to build momentum, looking for the runners.
Pirates continue to spread that ball, relying on the wings, but the defense from the Raiders is quite solid, not opening any gaps, not giving them an opportunity. The forward pack from the Pirates Rugby Club looking to open that gap, pushing hard as Pirates continue to spread that ball so nicely, relying on the wings. Some slick footwork as we see the first try in this encounter by the Pirates Rugby Club. The crowd getting involved. What an absolutely beautiful way to start a home game as you also open the season.
What a try that was indeed there for Pirates. You could see that the ball was really moved there throughout the back line, working away all the way from the line out across the field, and then be able to turn around and get both forwards and backs into play. But it's the try scorer, Dragon Kabule Ntengwa, scoring that try there. But good distribution there, Fabian. If you look at Mpofo, the winger there, being able to catch the ball, pass it on. So a well-orchestrated try right from the actual line out.
Definitely, as you can see, there was definitely intent to move the ball into the wider channels. But first, getting momentum, I think that was the crucial part. Getting momentum, winning that advantage line, getting dominance, which gave the opportunity for the wing on the outside, but then creating width on the opposite end for Dragon, true to his name, scoring in the corner.
It is Keegan Levic who continues the momentum for Pirates as he slots away that conversion. We are 7 minutes and a half into this encounter. It is the Pirates Rugby Club that lead this game with a 7-0 point scoreline.
It's about taking your chances, taking the opportunities. We saw Raiders, they were close, very close to the try line there earlier in the stages of the first of this opening game. But unfortunately unable to convert it into points. And as you've seen there, Aaron, Pirates making sure that their first real opportunity at scoring some points, that they not just score but also convert the try.
As we see the kickoff there by the Raiders, as they look to score their first try, they'll be looking to make these opportunities count. The Pirates Rugby Club gathering so nicely, holding that defensive structure as we've seen throughout the first 8 minutes in this encounter, as they kick so beautifully for touch.
Yes, Aaron, I think what's crucial going forward into this game, we just saw a beautiful exit from the Pirates team. And when you score or get points on the board, that's exactly what you want. The easy exit out of your half and making sure that you capitalize and not let the other team back in a possible point scoring opportunity.
Most certainly, as we're about to see this line out by the Raiders, I'd like to bring you in here, Ashwin. It's the first game of the season. The boys must be feeling a little bit nervous. They might be feeling a little bit excited. In terms of mindset, what would they want to achieve? Of course, getting the W, but also starting the season on a very good note with a victory.
Indeed, I think if you look at both teams coming out here, right from the onset, it was about getting over the advantage line, scoring points. As we see Raiders, they're taking that ball forward from that line out, and they would want to build the pressure going forward, because the defensive line so far from what we've seen from Pirates has really been solid. So they're asking all the questions defense right there also.
The Raiders winning that penalty there. The big question, of course, is do they kick into touch and move closer and closer to the try line, or do they choose to go for the points? Only time will tell. It is quite early. They had an opportunity. And that's it. They choose to move closer and closer. An absolutely beautiful kick into touch as they choose to go for the line out.
Very interesting to see what line out option they'll be opting for. Earlier we saw a shortened line out from Pirates in an attacking position. This time around from Raiders we're looking at a full line out. So definitely what I'm seeing, a drive coming up. So discipline from the Pirates side is going to be crucial there.
We are seeing the Raiders taking this line out. Not the cleanest take, but they've got the ball. It is the flanker who held the ball so nicely.
Distribution from Raiders not so well, but they continue to keep the ball and trying to move forward. But the defensive line so far solid from Pirates in this game.
We are seeing a few hard hits as well. The boys are ready to play. The boys are ready for the season. And they're not shy to show off their physicality as well. As they normally talk about it in rugby, the boys are getting a little bit physical, they're getting a little bit aggressive, but of course it's one of those where discipline matters. You don't want the tempers to get the best of you. You still have 70 minutes to play, and the ref stepping in there and telling the lads to calm down, breathe, relax. You've got 70 minutes to show off your skills and not show off your punches.
Yeah, as the boys cool down, and from the onset, not a clean line-out take, disrupted play. The set phase wasn't the best, and that just caused for disruption throughout the attacking phase, which really allowed Pirates to get a solid defensive line and really get some big hits, and eventually causing the turnover, but doing wrong in doing that. So we've got Raiders in another point-scoring opportunity. In my head, the captain would be looking to get some points and build that scoreboard pressure.
Most certainly. In terms of what we've seen so far, unfortunately the Raiders haven't been able to pass that ball accurately, making sure that the ball goes to hand and that you handle the ball in such a way that you don't give it away to the opposition. In terms of just the nerves being a little bit settled, we are seeing Pirates showcasing a little bit of maturity, Ashwin.
Well, big question here for Pirates. Do they take the 3 points? And yes, the captain there, John Kubeka, rather from Raiders, deciding to take the 3 points. But Pirates, you know, the pressure from Pirates, you can see they're well structured in the defensive line, and hence they are able to really put up those solid, big defensive hits, and making it very difficult for the Raiders to gain momentum on their attack.
We're looking at this positioning. It is John Kubeka, who is also the captain, choosing to go for the 3 points, closing that gap. Looking at this encounter, we are 11 minutes in. It is Pirates Rugby Club that lead this encounter with a 7-0 scoreline. As I say that scoreline ticks over, and it is the Raiders who are on the board. They've just slotted away that penalty, the scoreline, after 11 minutes and 20 seconds. It is 7 points to Pirates, and the Raiders are on 3 points. Fabian, I'd love to bring you in here. The vibe is quite exciting. Club rugby is something that everyone comes out. We're seeing babies on the touchline. We're seeing family. We're seeing youngsters watching their hero. How are you feeling the vibe this afternoon?
Vibe is absolutely awesome. Like, it's great to see grassroots rugby really taking flight in South Africa. There's been a huge investment in ensuring that those who don't have the opportunity is granted that opportunity through the club rugby scene. And seeing the turnout this afternoon just really encourages me, I must say. It gets me excited, possibly pull my boots, dust them off, and maybe add a 20 minutes here or there.
It's not too late. It's not too late. I'm sure, you know, in fact, we can tie them for you and sort of even cheer you on as you go on to the field.
I'll be able to do running commentary for you on the field. Something new.
Literally.
Fantastic. What an absolutely beautiful take by the Pirates Rugby Club as we go from line out to them continuously spreading that ball, having the ability to just pass so accurately and finding their man, but continuously moving forward slowly but surely. They're spreading that ball to the wings. The Raiders will be looking to ensure that they don't open any gaps in their defensive structure.
Still the pressure there by Pirates.
It is.
Pirates going all the way for yet another try, and it is Edric Brandt scoring that one after good play by Mukunde. The winger there being able to just put him away. But again, Pirates from the line-out play, phase after phase, taking the ball up and asking big questions of the Raiders defense. And Fabian, good to see how the forwards really taking on the defensive line of Raiders. So Pirates really showing to us at this instant they've got one up over Raiders.
Brilliant set phase play there, Ashwin, really getting them across the advantage line, gaining meters, once again getting into the outside channels, and that just allows for mismatches in the midfield. As we saw there, you've got backline players running on the front row, and it's definitely causing gaps on the inside. So for me, Raiders is going to have to look when they get into their own back 50 to slow down that ball at ruck time, because at this point in time, Pirates is going to be having a field day getting into the attacking half.
It is Ethan Anderson who takes the conversion. He slots it away, and after 13 minutes and 50 seconds in this encounter, it is the Pirates Rugby Club who are using their opportunities. They're currently on 14 points. The Raiders are just on 3 points. Ashwin, we talk about it so often that when you're given an opportunity, you have to take it, but most importantly, not just gain territory, you have to put points on the board. We have seen the Raiders unfortunately leave gaps open in their defense. They've given 2 opportunities away to the Pirates Rugby Club, and the Pirates Rugby Club most certainly made it count as we're seeing it on the scoreboard.
Yeah, if you look at Raiders, you know, on attack, they've shown that they've got what it takes, but it is the defensive line of Pirates that they've been hold solid, and those questions have been asked from Raiders, and it seems like Raiders' defense, unfortunately, if it's onslaught after onslaught, are unable to sort of withstand that onslaught, and so they have to really look at themselves defensively and say, how do we maintain our defensive line under the pressure put by Pirates?
And as we talk about those pressure, Ash, we just see, unfortunately, Brandt, who's just the try scorer, unfortunately knocking that one on in contact. Once again, Raiders finding themselves with an attacking scrum in the 22 of Pirates. On this set phase, exactly, we'd like to get a right shoulder. As I mentioned earlier, scrum halves aren't allowed to chase the 8 at base, so if Raiders can get a proper right shoulder here, the 8th man has got open playing field. With that inside centre, you really got some great opportunity to get front foot ball here and put themselves back on the scoreboard.
The scoreboard is most certainly looking in favour of the Pirates team. They'll be looking to continue to build their momentum, as the Raiders will be looking to also move closer and closer in terms of the points. That scrum went their way. They're looking to break in. And as I say that, they convert their first try. What an absolutely beautiful way of moving from the scrum, spreading that ball so nicely, finding that opportunity, and then touching down just underneath the post.
Yeah, wonderful. From the base of the scrum there, Fabian, you've mentioned it about stabilizing the scrum, getting the ball out, and it was really their Raiders running hard. It was their big Vuyo Ziginki that just went straight there over the defense. And we talked about the defense of Pirates, but it's this time Raiders being able to sort of get through that defensive line with sheer just grit, running at the defenders and asking those questions. We've been saying they get so close to the try line, so close to those scoring positions, but are unable to convert. And this time, Raiders making sure that they convert that territorial advantage into points.
No, definitely building scoreboard pressure there. As we mentioned, from the set phase, unfortunately, Brad van Niekerk just had a slip, and it really gave Raiders that shoulder that they needed to put the number 12 into space. Pirates back on the back foot, not getting off the defensive line, and he just had ample space to run into.
Raiders taking their opportunities, closing that scoreboard pressure, ensuring that they're now on 10 points. They trail Pirates Rugby Club by 4 points as we are 16 minutes into this encounter, as the Raiders kick for touch.
Good exit by Raiders, getting the ball, making sure they just put a nice exit from there. But this is the previous, the last try from Pirates was scored from a line-out in this position. So like to see how the Pirates will be playing with this one, Fabian.
Opting again for the shortened line-out. We've got another 4-man line-out coming up. You can see the loose forwards lining up in the midfield. So definitely a centre hip-up, giving Pirates both sides of the field to get an opportunity to attack from.
It is the Pirates Rugby Club that are spreading the ball so beautifully as they've done throughout this encounter. Winning the penalty as well. As we see the ref, Austin Richardson, taking charge of this game, ensuring that the lads do what they have to do and ensuring that discipline remains intact.
Unfortunately, this Mapak was sliding up on that tackle. No malice intended in that one. He was just late, not wanting to give up the outside space, and he just slid up on that tackle, unfortunately.
But it's all about advantage, and it's interesting to see how Pirates, moment they got the ball, they're keeping moving forward, getting the advantage, and another wonderful attacking opportunity on the 22 virtually of Raiders. And I'd like to see how Pirates is playing from this position. Previously, we've mentioned in a similar position, would they be taking the driving more? Fabian, your ideas on this one?
Yeah, we see the two loose forwards out on the edges again. Ash, I think we're seeing something going wide again with a nice hit up on the outside channels, and then forwards coming same side to really see if they can exploit the blind side at this point in time.
The Pirates Rugby Club are at this point spreading the ball so nicely, and what they're doing very different in terms of when you compare the two teams is when they pass the ball with such accuracy, but they keep on moving forward and they ensure that they move closer and closer to that try line.
Adding to that, Aaron, last week the captain Aiden Cupero mentioned with the last warm-up game that they will be having home field advantage in this derby game that's coming up. Definitely something that you can see is counting in their favour. They're used to the conditions, used to the ground not being as firm as always for a fast-paced game, and really using that to their advantage.
We spoke about the weather and we spoke about the conditions earlier in the build-up. The one thing that has really made me proud is that the game hasn't slowed down at all. The boys are spreading the ball. They're playing fast-running rugby. When the field is a little bit wet, you're expecting them to slow the game down a little bit. And the lads have said, no, we're not doing that. We're still playing our normal game, which is fast and most certainly physical.
In this instance, Raiders opting to go for touch, finding touch, but still not out of pressure. It is really Pirates keeping them under pressure just outside their own 22.
And Raiders did well with the previous set phase in a similar position to slow down that first phase ball, really giving their defensive line an opportunity to set and get off it. And here we see the first maul of the game from Pirates, getting momentum on the initial serve. Now just hoping that Raiders have enough to keep them out. But we've got Liam Larkin sitting tight in the boot as they gain momentum going forward. They're 5 meters out at the moment. This is just all about patience, waiting for the right time to strike.
Advantage as well to the Pirates Rugby Club as they will continue to play.
They don't need the advantage. It seems like they're going to go over and score.
They're looking to make sure that it's another 7 points. We've seen early in the encounter that once you give them a sniff at opportunity, they most certainly take it. It is the Pirates' 8th man who holds on to the ball, and he secures the try for the local team.
Pirates really applying the pressure there, utilizing the ball, going through, playing with the advantage, and putting the defensive line under enormous pressure. But Pirates, once they get into the half of Raiders, it seems like they're camping there and just putting up phase after phase and asking massive questions from the Raiders defensive line. Very difficult to sort of fold after that quick ball, so quickly recycled at the ruck, Fabian.
Yes, Ash, when ball is recycled that quickly, you're always on the back foot. You're always defending backwards. You're never really getting a time to really set up and get off the defensive line, putting pressure, winning that initial first 4 or 5 meters to really put pressure on the defensive side, on the attacking side. And right now they're just constantly defending on the back foot, giving Pirates in that back line that's really dangerous to space to run into. And right now they're using every opportunity to convert into points.
You're talking about the points. Unfortunately, that one not going the way of the Pirates Rugby Club. We are 21 minutes into this encounter. We are on, I believe it should be 19 points to the Pirates Rugby Club, and the Raiders are still on 10 points. In terms of the action that we are viewing on our screens at the moment, we are live on SABC Sport, Channel 4 on the DTT platforms. We are live on the SABC Plus app as well as sabcsport.com. And if you missed the first 20 minutes of this particular encounter, of course, you can catch the highlights tomorrow afternoon, 12:30 on SABC2.
Yeah, as we see the kickoff from John Kubeka, this is the first time as Pirates have been flawless this entire game. They've struggled with their exits, but this time flawless in that and really getting out of their back 50.
Both teams from receiving kickoffs really opting to just go exit from there, get a line out, and then almost putting themselves under pressure and saying we're willing to absorb that pressure. So here it is Raiders now having to say, how do we make sure that we take this line out and just apply the pressure phase after phase onto the Pirates, similar to what Pirates has done to them previously.
As we see this Raiders line out, unfortunately not going to hand. The Pirates Rugby Club capitalizing, finding the gap, moving that ball so nicely. It is the man who's called Dragon that finds that gap and keeps on pushing, gaining about 20 meters for the Pirates Rugby Club. As Garrick Stead grabs that ball. Pirates Rugby Club still holding on to that ball. Penalty going the way of the Raiders. They'll be breathing a sigh of relief. We have seen the Pirates Rugby Club score a try every single time they've been given opportunity. Unfortunately for the Raiders, their defensive line holding on to ensure that the Pirates Rugby Club don't score a try.
Yeah, Liam Larkin just spilling that one as a one-off runner coming in, but beautiful to see the transition play from attack and to defense, or defense to attack, rather, from the Pirates side, giving them a brilliant opportunity to score points once again. Unfortunately, just a little knock-on, but they won't be too disappointed. They can really put pressure on this scrum of the Pirates, or of the Raiders rather, and see how they can exit from here.
Now looking at this scrum for the Raiders team at this point in time, Fabian, I'd love to bring you in here. The Raiders are so close to their try line. How should they handle this scrum? Maybe put the ball in, get it out, and kick it to touch, or rather spread and run the ball and look to move further and further away from their try line?
Aaron, as we mentioned earlier, once again, conditions not favorable to really go and scrum for a penalty. So you'll just want a normal channel one ball in and out, put your center in a position to carry 1 or 2 phases just to drag in and really give your fly off or your fullback an opportunity to exit here. So it will just be a steady scrum, nothing major, no attacking scrum, just a channel one ball in between the locks coming straight through to the 8-man, and the scrum half should be ready to go.
As the Raiders put in that ball, the scrummy waiting patiently. What an absolutely fantastic scrum there by the Raiders. That forward pack pumped. They're excited, showing off their physicality and saying to the Pirates Rugby Club, we might be playing away from home, but we're not afraid. We're definitely not afraid, and we will show you.
You know, Eric, I think Kampa and the rest of his pack of forwards might have heard me there and proved me wrong, saying not to go for an attacking scrum, but at that they just showed me that it's still possible to scrum a penalty in these conditions as well.
And what a wonderful penalty that is, really, to bring that necessary sort of relieve that pressure on Raiders. The previous lineup Raiders had, unfortunately, couldn't get that ball in here. Another very critically important one. We've seen when you lose your own lineup, your defense immediately under pressure. And so Raiders, first and foremost, important to win this line out.
Yeah, very important, Ash. Is this synergy between the hooker and his jumper. Once again, unfortunately, another missed opportunity. But what would really help Raiders is if they get to the line out before the opposition sets up. That will just give them an opportunity to identify space a lot quicker, because right now the defending team is getting ample opportunity to see where jumpers are moving, what the possible options are, and make a decision to contest.
Raiders wasting opportunities in terms of that line out. They'll be looking to fix that mistakes throughout the game, but this is a big opportunity for Pirates. Unfortunately, the line out's the ball not going to hand. Raiders capitalizing, looking to run the ball as they spread it to the wings.
Yeah, both teams struggling in their own line-out ball, but you can see immediately defense are under pressure there from Pirates, having lost that line-out. Raiders playing it forward all the way, unfortunately, foot into touch, and so another line-out for Pirates.
The Pirates Rugby Club will be looking to fix the mistake that we just saw a few minutes ago, ensuring that they don't throw the ball over the man that they are targeting, Fabian. Maybe go a little bit closer, maybe change the call a little bit. How should they structure it?
Yes, sir, and as you said, we see they revert back to their shortened line-out, which has worked for them beautifully throughout this game. Previously, we've seen, and as we say, that just another clean take from the lock and giving them attacking opportunity once again.
Pirates Rugby Club holding on to that ball as the scrummy is looking to spread it to the right-hand side of the field. They're looking for those gaps. They continue to run it so beautifully.
The speedster Matthew Mpofo running there down the touchline, but really just drawing and passing. Pirates being able to play down the blind side, taking the ball and just running hard, straight lines. You know, this classical coaching, running straight lines, playing the man into space, and just having that extra number. And Mpofo, with his speed, pace, and power, being able to just go all the way and take it through. But you know, unfortunately for Raiders, you've seen, you know, the defensive line under pressure there, and Pirates being able to convert, taking virtually the play out of their own half all the way to a try-scoring opportunity.
No, something, Ash, that every forward loves to see, and that's a set phase dominance, and really the Pirates are taking control of that. I think this game will definitely come down to the team who controls the set phase, gets the opportunity, whether it is in their own back 50 or attacking 50. And we've seen every opportunity that the Pirates have gotten within the scoring opportunity, they've done exactly just that. And unfortunately not able to convert that try out of the corner, but once again a beautifully worked try. And as they say, Ash, when the winger scores tries, it just means that everyone else in the team is doing their job.
Indeed. You know, the forwards. I think that was the forwards coming up with that saying.
Definitely. That's how we know we're doing our work.
But in fact, the wingers of Pirates, you've seen them both coming into the game nicely. And I'd like to see Raiders being able to distribute the ball, also getting the wingers into play.
Just a quick update in terms of the score. It is 24 points to Pirates. The Raiders struggling a little bit in this encounter. They're still on 10 points as we are 27 minutes in to this encounter. It is the Pirates Rugby Club that are controlling this ball.
Pirates opting not to kick straight away, rather taking the ball up phases, but it seems like now come with the kick. Like say commentators curse.
As Pirates are chasing this ball, the Raiders collect so nicely. They're looking to spread it. It is Cameron, the fullback, who spreads that ball so nicely. It is the captain there that holds that ball, that goes forward, that takes on that defensive line.
A quick tap by Raiders. They're taking the ball forward, want to get the play going. But unfortunately, ball lost and a turnover ball here for Pirates. And Raiders unable to really build any significant momentum with their own ball. Chased there by the wingers.
Unfortunately, that ball not being taken by the Pirates Rugby Club. The ball not going to hand.
As Comfort approached the line-out, I think as we saw there at this point in time, the Pirates team is just a lot more disciplined within their own half, really just making sure they get the exit. And we've got Raiders who's scrambling at this moment and forcing some unforced errors.
We talked about the challenge in the line-out, and his Pirates taking that one away from Raiders. Immediately coming with a counter-attack, so Raiders unfortunately really to play off any of their line-out ball.
Pirates Rugby Club spreading the ball to the right-hand side. We have seen the last try coming from the right-hand side. Both with their man that they trust so well in that wing position. The ref, Austin Richardson, bringing them back. The Pirates Rugby Club had an advantage there.
So we've seen it really in the, Raiders unable to capitalize off their lineouts and giving that ball back to Pirates and immediately putting themselves under tremendous pressure. Decision-making time. Seems like Pirates are going for touch. They want to score another try.
Yeah, at this point, if I was the captain on the field, I'd definitely go. They've got the dominance with their lineup that's functioning at the moment. They've got Raiders really on the back foot. So opportunity for them to start capitalizing again and keep on or continuing to build that scoreboard pressure.
Pirates also have been struggling lately with their own line-out throw, so like to see potential drive option.
And beautifully worked.
Executing yet another fantastic line-out. Another rolling maul. They're holding that ball so nicely, waiting patiently behind the rolling maul. As Pirates move closer, they build a little bit of momentum. They've still got that ball. The Raiders scrambling. Pirates securing that penalty.
Yeah, Raiders being able to stop that driving momentum, but unfortunately in the process giving away a penalty. But good to see straight off the top, stopping the momentum. It was a good take right front of the line out for Pirates.
Yes, back to basics as straight number 2 ball. Really want to set up a nice drive. Unfortunately at that time, Pirates, the 2 supporters, not setting that base in front way too high to really gain any momentum and give them a proper opportunity. As we see a mid ball, better set up this time around, but unfortunately there's double banking and that's called obstruction, while the referee Richardson just called them there as one of the supporting players is stepping in front of the jumper as they put him back on the ground.
So technically there for Pirates, the driving maul option not working out so well, but also good solid defensive effort by Raiders on their own try line. Always very difficult to sort of defend a driving maul, and right from the onset Raiders anticipating the driving maul, able to sort of defend that. But their liners have been struggling so far, so this one critically.
The Raiders breathing a sigh of relief there, winning the penalty, taking the line out. Unfortunately, yet another line out not going to hand. The Pirates Rugby Club capitalizing, going yet again to that right-hand side, that side that they've gotten 2 tries from. Unfortunately, as they spread that ball, the ball not going to hand.
No, very important at this phase. It just seems like CBCB is the only jumper for the Raiders side and not giving them a lot of options within that lineout. So if Pirates is marking their main jumper, it doesn't seem like they've got any other options. So they would have to go and just regroup, see what options they have. And that's why it's so important. Set up early, get to the lineout first. Just play the bailout to the prop in front even, just to retain your possession and really give yourself an opportunity to get back into the game.
As we see yet another line out, a big talking point throughout this encounter. Can this ball go to hand? Can they use this opportunity? As they've done so beautifully, the Pirates Rugby Club. He chooses to go to his left-hand side as they continue to move forward. A nice chip kick. As Mpofu chases that ball. Pirates moving forward, using their physicality, pushing the Raiders out the way as they move one step closer. They continue to spread that ball. The Raiders are not backing down, showing off. We're about to see kickoff in the second half. It is the season opener. It is the Castle Lager Pirates Grand Challenge. We are right here in Randburg at the Pirates Rugby Club. The home team most certainly asserting their dominance in that first half. It is 24 points to Pirates. The Raiders lagging behind, unfortunately, 14 points behind. They're just on 10 points.
I think it's also perhaps it'll be unfair not to give the Dragon a mention. After his first half here, you see him every time he's taking that ball, Kahule and Tengwe. He's really been a standout forward in terms of just running and taking up the space and confronting the defenders and getting that necessary forward momentum for Pirates. So in the second half, he'll be a player to watch.
As we see kickoff of the second half, the Pirates Rugby Club chasing that ball. Unfortunately not going as planned. The ball goes into touch at the 50-meter line.
And with a few seconds into the second half, we're once again back to the set phases. Line out time for Pirates. And will be Liam Larkin, who's still on the field looking to find his jumper and giving his team another opportunity. And as we say that, we see Dragon moving into the midfield, being shoved or showed direction by his captain. So we might see the Dragon in action pretty soon.
As we see this line out by the Pirates Rugby Club taken so beautifully, using that opportunity. Yo, what an interception there. What an absolutely beautiful take.
Well read is Vuyo Ziginki there for Raiders. Well read in Fabian, you were talking about they're moving the Dragon into the midfield, so anticipating that they'll go there, and this literally was running straight Vuyo that is, and intercepting that ball. And what an intercept. I think the whole crowd just got onto their feet when they saw, but it wasn't just catching the ball and running. He had to still sort of step and get through a few defenders there. But what a try so early on in the second half. And will this be the moment for Raiders to change the fate of this game?
Definitely, as that can be a huge momentum swing. As he intercepted that ball and crossed the line, there was an eerie silence from the home side and their supporters, as that's the first points of the second half. So really a great opportunity for Raiders to get themselves back into the game and really give themselves an opportunity to get on the scoreboard.
John Kubega ensuring that he gets the conversion there. Looking at the score line, we have just seen 2 minutes in the second half. The score line sits at 24 points to the Pirates Rugby Club. The Raiders are on 17 points. Ashwin, you spoke about it there, the shift in momentum. We have seen the Pirates Rugby Club dominating the first half, but in terms of the tempo and the way the second half is starting, the Raiders most certainly want to flip the switch and show that they also want to play some rugby this
afternoon. And they're
afternoon.
starting right from the kickoff, taking that ball from that kickoff. A wonderful takeoff there. You can see well in control there, getting the jumper up to receive the ball. And it's Raiders now trying to build the momentum. Unfortunately, that ball lost, but and it's Pirates being offside, but Raiders right from the kickoff, the intensity, the intent rather, you can see straight from them. They're trying to make sure they get the ball well received of kickoff.
John Kubega kicking the ball into touch there, finding touch so beautifully. We spoke about him as one of the key players for the Raiders, being able to make the right decisions, being able to move the right players into the right positions, which is such an important part of this game.
Fabian, interesting to see how Raiders are approaching this line out. We talked about their lineouts in the first half. But interesting to see how they're approaching this line-out and how critical is this line-out given the momentum with them now. And just for confidence boost for players. I mean, this is a critical line-out in this stage of the game.
Very critical, Ash. And once again, we see them very slow to the line-out. But it looks like they've opted for a full-man line-out. So in my head, looking at a drive coming up. So just to secure the ball, that's all they need to do. We've seen their backline is a great attacking threat. And at this point in time, you just want to secure your ball, go straight for number 2 and get it off the top, get it out to your backs and let them get you on the front foot. As we said, unfortunately, go for the back option. Really a tough throw in these conditions, and not giving and losing that ball in the process.
But instead of a ball there for Raiders, they've got the ball, was wonderfully turned over, and now trying to see if they can sort of regain that momentum that they were trying to get.
The Raiders holding on to that ball, spreading it, looking for opportunities. Unfortunately, the ball not going to hand, but the Raiders still have got it.
But scrappy there from Raiders. But at least the ball is still with them and the attacking options are still alive.
Precision being the name of the game. We spoke about it in the first half. It's continuously happening now in the second half, where the Raiders are looking to pass the ball. They're looking for opportunities, but that ball not going to hand. Sometimes, Fabian, is that excitement. You're ready to go, you're ready to play, but you're not focusing in those critical moments of the game.
Exactly, and I think it also boils down to the breakdown. We've seen what they can do with front foot ball, and as we say that, it's the number seven flanker, Masipa, who's got the great gain line advantage and giving their wings an opportunity. Brilliant finish by Itu in the corner, a man who has some Vodacom Cup experience from back in it, someone who's played provincial rugby, but looks like he might have injured himself in the process.
Itu getting the job done there for the Raiders. We spoke about momentum. The Raiders are most certainly dominating this first few minutes of the second half. The big question, Ash, is can they keep this momentum going? And what has happened to the Pirates Rugby Club? It seems that halftime break killed their momentum completely. They're scrambling at this point in time in the game.
It was just about regrouping. You know, we saw in the first half that Raiders, it was about retaining the ball, setting up the phases and getting through the defenders eventually, but unfortunately were unable to sort of keep that momentum or get that continuity going. Whereas the start of this second half, we've seen Raiders totally in control of their own ball, applying enormous defensive pressure whenever Pirates has the ball. And so far we can see once your tail is up, you know, then they're moving forward, and the finishing brilliance that we've seen so far has just been phenomenal from Raiders. So a good start to the second half. Even if they lose the ball from the line-out, as we've seen there, Fabian, just the urgency to want to defend, to want to get that ball back has shown how quickly the tides can turn.
Yes, Ash, I think it's crucial. I think the regroup during the halftime break was really important for them. Whatever was mentioned or information passed through, they've seen dividends from that. What I would like to see is this Pirates going for a longer, deeper kick, and this time not doing so. Once again, trying to go for the contestable. And the Raiders handling it pretty well and exiting their half once again.
The Pirates Rugby Club have got the ball in this point in time. They kick for territory. The Raiders grabbing that ball so nicely. Cameron, the man who's wearing the number 15 jersey, spreading it to the winger. Raiders pushing the men out their way.
It's one-way traffic this far. Raiders wants to score. Lovely to watch, to see how the confidence levels of the Raiders players. You see the try scorer taking that ball up, trying to gain forward momentum, and Raiders completely in charge of this phase of play.
A ball slightly being slowed down, but we can see there's a shift on this Raiders side, really using, and it's the captain once again,
John
star
Kubega,
player from the first half.
spreading that ball to the man who's wearing the number 13 jersey.
What a try it was for Raiders, and it's all about momentum, all about continuity, and then the brilliance of the captain. We've talked about him, John Kubeka, and in the first half he's been the standout player, and just really sort of taking the gap, reading the defense right in front of them, and what continuity we've seen there.
Most certainly seeing the Raiders, John Kubeka, most certainly getting the job done, finding the gap, being able to run the ball, spreading the ball so nicely to Vuyo wearing the number 13 jersey, as he's done throughout this whole encounter, making the right decisions, and in that moment finding the gap.
As we spoke during the halftime break, discipline on both attack and defense, and this time around we're seeing that from the Raiders side. Really, what I'd love to see is the interaction between the forwards and the backs linking up beautifully and really creating that space for their captain to attack from.
Options for the ball carrier. That is what we're seeing from Raiders currently. You know, options both on the inside and the outside. As soon as there's a break, there's options on either side, and that's good to see. It shows the support runners really playing towards the ball, supporting the ball carrier, and it's been one-way traffic so far in the second half.
John Kubeka continuing the momentum for the Raiders, ensuring that he adds another 2 points onto the scoreboard. It is 31 points to the Raiders coming back into this encounter. The Pirates Rugby Club, the local team being able to ensure that they get the job done.
Yeah, I don't know what happened during this time, but it would appear that a whole heap of Raiders supporters might have arrived during the halftime break. Because during the first half we couldn't hear them, but they found their voice here in the second half, and their team really giving them something to cheer about.
There's a lot to cheer about for the Raiders supporters, a smaller group in terms of the stands.
You go through momentum shifts, and I think now what's critical for Raiders is we've seen so far in the second half is that they've been able to stabilize the play through catching the ball straight from the kickoff, being in charge, being in control. So question is, can they maintain that? Unforced error there from Pirates.
And as we talk about momentum shift, as here we've got Pirates who's got an opportunity to get themselves back in the game. First attacking opportunity for the second half. Once again opting for the shortened lineouts. It'll be interesting to see. They can see there's intent, but we've got the man Dragon sitting in the pocket. So obviously a driving option looking to approach here as they go into the attacking half.
Seeing the Pirates Rugby Club taking that line out, another rolling maul. We saw them execute it so nicely in the first half. The ball sits comfortably at the back of that maul as they wait patiently, weighing their options, looking to spread the ball as they do just that. As they move closer and closer to that try line, they're about 5 meters out, spreading the ball to the left-hand side of the field.
Pirates now asking the questions of the defensive line from the Raiders. And this is really where it matters now. Raiders, they have had the momentum, they've had the continuity, they were able to build up those phases, but how do you defend when you're under pressure?
Yeah, decision making really crucial here, Ash. It's going to be interesting to see if Pirates opt for the points, continue just to close that gap, or go for touch and put themselves in another try scoring opportunity at this stage of the game. As we see, the weather looks like it might just hold up, but you can't take any chances. So you might see that we just want to see that they build scoreboard pressure here.
You're talking about options here. You know, do you take the scrum? It's a wonderful setup for a scrum right in front of the sticks. You've got options either side.
Yeah, definitely. I think a scrum's definitely an option we've seen at various levels of the game now, as the scrum is not just a set phase, but most so more becoming an attacking weapon. You could possibly get the penalty from there and even play the advantage from that. We saw earlier when Raiders was in a try-scoring opportunity when they got that right shoulder, 8th man putting up a perfect, and then 12 crossing the whitewash. So definitely another option in that arsenal. So very interesting to see the decision making here. The hooker looks like he might have a bit of a niggle, so that scrum might be possibly the best option there.
But we've seen before that if there was one area of the game where the Raiders defense have been solid, it has been to prevent the driving maul, and it's now Pirates kicking for touch, and would like to see whether or not they're going to go for that driving maul option again. In the first half, we've seen twice where they've tried for that driving maul and were unsuccessful.
Definitely, there's not a lot of times where the forward pack can be creative like the back, so maybe there's a trick play coming up, some creativity that the forwards have thought about on the training field.
Pirates Rugby Club have got this line out as they execute it so perfectly. Fabian, you spoke about that rolling maul being a big weapon, being something that can create opportunities, as we're seeing the Pirates Rugby Club being about 5 meters away from the try line as they've used it so effectively.
I would have loved to see Liam Lockham just holding that ball at the back a little longer, but they've got momentum here and the forwards are coming around the corner continues and scoring the try. And it's Kiswe who crosses the line for his first try of the campaign.
What a try that has been. Unfortunately, they couldn't just take the driving ball and go all the way through, but just again rolling off, taking the momentum, taking the ball up, and what a try, scoring under the sticks there for Pirates in this one. And getting into the half, staying there, applying the pressure, think that's how both teams have shown that once they get there and they're able to do that, then eventually that wall of defense does crack.
It's one of those things where we spoke about it in the beginning. We said the momentum is leaning more and more towards the Raiders. The Pirates Rugby Club being able to stop that momentum now, ensuring that they convert that opportunity where we were asking questions. Are they going to kick into touch? Are they going to go for the 3 points? They decided to kick into touch, and then they converted that into a try.
So we can basically say even Stevens. So this is the start of the game actually now.
We can basically make it 0-0 at
In
50
fact,
minutes.
That's where we're at. And what a game it has been so far from both teams. We've seen a lot of running rugby, good orchestrated quality play from both teams. There's been areas of concern, the lineouts being one of them. But the defense and the attack from both sides have really been so far, so early on in the season, for a season opener. I think it's been really a good standard set by both teams so far.
Definitely, Ash, as they say, defense is just an attitude. You either want to make the hit, you either want to get over the gain line, or you don't want to. So that's good to see. As we mentioned, the lineouts as well, that's been functioning, a concern on both sides. We see Liam Locken leaving the field. It's done himself unjust with his shoulder, it would appear. And Michael Masinde has taken the field. So that's a crucial change. And will he be able to uphold that standard that was set by Liam in the first half?
There's been momentum shifts on either side. At some point of the game it was Raiders, at some point it was Pirates, so good to see how the game will progress from here onwards.
As the Pirates Rugby Club have got the ball at this point in time. Unfortunately, the Raiders being a little bit too eager there.
Just another momentum shift. I think what we've seen throughout the game is between the two sides, Pirates definitely their conversion ratio when visiting the opposition 22 has definitely been better. Raiders has upped that during the second half period. So for me, whoever gets into the opposition 22, they need to be sure of converting points at this point in time. As we've got the first line out coming up for Masinde, it will be great to see they go up for the shortened line out once again. Attacking options in the midfield. Previously, this line out led to an interception and a try, which caused a huge momentum shift and really sparked the second half comeback for the Raiders.
This is a very critical line out. As you say, it's Masinde's first line out since being on the field. And I'm sure if you look at Raiders so far, that the line out is one area of the field where they did apply pressure defensively onto Pirates. So critical one here because it's a nice attacking part of the field also for Raiders. So if they were to get or disrupt this line out, it'll put immediate pressure on the Pirates defense.
We saw a small caucus there from the Pirates Rugby Club making a decision in terms of how to take this line out. Unfortunately, not necessarily going to hand. The Raiders capitalizing, looking to move the ball quite quickly. Scrummy in position as he spreads that ball, as they're looking to gain some territory. Being physical, not being shy to run into that defensive line.
And once again, great go forward for this Raiders side, giving their backs an opportunity, and it's the danger man with the ball in his hand. Coming around the corner now, the forwards really is going to be crucial here to work hard, put themselves in opposition. Unfortunately, not doing that and causing the turnover. But it's the man Masinde who's just fixed that error in the line-out and really getting himself back into the game by causing that turnover on the floor.
Redemption, you know, but wonderful to see that it was really the timing running off the ball carrier or running off, setting up the phases that disrupted the flow there for Raiders. But solid defense again shown by Pirates, and it's interesting to see how Pirates are able just to slow that ball down a few seconds in order to prevent Raiders from gaining that necessary momentum in the run of play.
Masinde, the man, has got the ball in hand. This is his second line out. Of course, a lot of pressure on the man as they execute it so beautifully. They continue to spread that ball as they kick into territory. Unfortunately, that ball not finding touch. Cameron for the Raiders wearing the number 15 jersey, sending the ball the opposite direction.
A tactical play very well there from Pirates. We've seen, we talked about Masinde, and it's interesting, the second line out here, there wasn't as much pressure from Raiders at the line out, so they also knew it was his first throw into the line out, the previous one, so they applied a lot of pressure, but it's Pirates still on the attack.
As we see the ref calling time off there just for Masinde to find the ball And we've got one of the youngsters, probably a future Pirates or Raiders player, just bringing the ball back to the field. It will be interesting to see just a tactical play, as you mentioned there, Ash. Really, as we mentioned, the conversion ratio of the Pirates team has been great. So they want to put themselves in a try-scoring opportunity, not do too much play in their own back 50, which could possibly result in a ball being turned over, giving the Raiders an opportunity to put points on the board.
At this point in time, we are 50 minutes into this encounter, and it is even Stevens, 31 points to both teams as the Pirates Rugby Club hold on to that ball so nicely. A beautifully executed line out.
It is Raiders here hoping on their defensive system to hold. But it's Pirates really trying to get that little kick just over the top and applying pressure on the Raiders team, playing for territorial advantage.
The Pirates Rugby Club being smart about it. I mean, if you can't break that defensive line, you might as well use your kicking game to kick over that line and find territory and find touch in your opponent's half.
No, definitely a territory game being applied, but something interesting to note is that the Raiders defender seems to be doing a lot of body hits, trying to rip the ball out of the attacking players' hands instead of just getting them to the floor, which is also just creating momentum going forward for Pirates at this point in time.
Masindi, ball in hand, his third line out, thrown beautifully, executed so well. Pirates spreading that ball. Raiders not being shy, they're moving closer and closer, not sitting back in terms of that defensive line, being progressive and not sitting in their own half. Pirates Rugby Club might take a quick one here as they choose not to.
The Raiders team just being way too eager getting off the defensive line. They're obviously making great hits and putting the Pirates on the pressure, but at that point in time just too excited, over eager, just courting them, catching them there and turning over ball once again, giving the Pirates team opportunity to put points on the board.
Interesting to see that Raiders opting not to put pressure on the lineouts in the past couple of lineouts that we've seen, and I think tactically maybe that's an error from them, but they're trusting their defensive line, having a solid defensive line, going up hard, trying to apply the pressure, but perhaps the lineout should be the one where they've been attacking. So since that first throw-in where Masindi came on, there haven't really been any pressure in the lineouts from Raiders.
Definitely, as first things first, like the lineout is the first start and is the initiator of the game. So if you can put pressure on there, and they've seen that has yielded results for them with Masindi, the new man, coming on, and to no fault of Masindi, he's been great with the lineout option, but no pressure being applied at this point. So it's basically a free ball for Pirates.
And you talked about the conversion rate, as we see there, Ethan Anderson taking that penalty and converting it for Pirates. So Pirates taking the points, recognizing this is playing to win. Test match rugby.
Most certainly, we are 60 minutes into the game, so every decision that you make at this point in time most certainly matters. The Raiders going for a nice short kick. Pirates grabbing the ball, looking for that opportunity, an open gap there for the man wearing the number 28 jersey. The Raiders scrambling back, trying to fix that defensive line. Being physical, not being shy. The Raiders looking to spread that ball to the left-hand side.
Solid intensity there on the defense. Defensive line holding strong from Raiders. But it is Pirates still having ball in hand.
Raiders working hard, looking to turn over that ball. Penalty going the way of the Pirates Rugby Club, right in front of their local supporters. Voices being heard, chirps going. Fabian, don't you love club rugby? Because the fans are right there on the touchline and you can always hear them chirping you on the side.
Well, look, as much as we have for the game, there's a lot of pride at stake, a lot of respect going into the season, and these two teams was always going to be heated at some point in time. You've got your family, friends, you want to show that you're worth it, and you've got an opportunity on the field. So it's part of the game at this point in time. They've kept it clean, just a bit of pushing and shoving, nothing serious. So we're all good.
As we are seeing our ref in the middle there, Austin Richardson, chatting to the two captains, saying, gents, discipline, discipline, discipline. We've got 20 minutes left in this encounter. Let's not get too emotional. Let's not lose our heads. We still have 20 minutes to play, Ashwin.
Yeah, Aiden Kibadu, as well as John Kubeka, that they've led their teams well. You can see just sort of making sure that the attack It's well coordinated, but I must say the level of play between both teams have really been at such a standard that one can only compliment the clubs for actually being so well prepared. You can see there's a lot of, in fact, there's a lot of consideration going into the style of play, what they do, how they attack. Well done to the coaching staff for both teams for having been able to set up this type of play in standard.
No, definitely. As I think for club rugby and for this spectacle we're busy watching here today, it's a really great testament to both clubs, especially coaches and management, because that's only thing that can be attributed to is pre-season and preparation. So both clubs, guys are looking in phenomenal condition. There haven't been a lot of changes being made except for forced injuries, so guys are really fit and firing. And it's another attacking opportunity here through the line out. And Masindi, unfortunately, not finding his man, giving away the free throw at this point in time, just mocking there as there was a bit of uncertainty between the two jumpers.
Welcome relief there for Raiders. You know, this is really we know Pirates are very dangerous when they get so close. Not finding touch, letting the ball roll.
As we see that ball just traveling too far, it's going to be a 22 restart. But I think, as you mentioned earlier, Aaron, there was a bit of pre-game jitters, first game of the season. I think that has definitely calmed down for both sides in this point in time, and you can really see what these two teams have got within their arsenal and putting that on a showcase at the moment.
In terms of the game that we're watching at this point in time, it is 31 points to the Raiders, 34 points to the Pirates Rugby Club. As Cameron, the man wearing the number 15 jersey, captured that ball so nicely for the Raiders team. Big momentum for the Raiders.
The vice captain Zianda Masipa who took that ball up.
As we're seeing forward momentum. One of the star players for the Raiders. John capturing that ball, moving it to the left-hand side of the field.
And it's really the pressure that's being applied there by Raiders. It's the penalty advantage.
Seems that Raiders have found a second push in terms of the momentum as we're seeing some replacements into the field.
The Raiders
For
bomb
the
squad.
Raiders.
The Raiders
Bomb
bomb squad. The Raiders bomb squad is coming on.
A nice fresh forward pack.
What a time to change your forward pack at this stage of the game. So far, the pack of forwards that have been starting for Raiders have really been Tsepo, Kamba and Makaya. They've really been sort of dominating in that scrum. When it came to scrum time, they were there. They're applying the pressure. We're running good ball carrying options. When it came to attack and defense, they were solid. So a very well-rounded performance by the Raiders pack of forward so far.
Looking at the man that we spoke about so often in that first half, continuing that decision-making, making the right decisions. He's decided to take this penalty and convert it into 3 points. The question is, will he get the distance? And he slots it away so confidently as his team from the sideline continue to cheer him on. A man who continues to add more points to that tally. The scoreboard now looking 34 points for both teams after 64 minutes in this encounter, the opening game of the Castle Lager Pirates Grand Challenge.
And what a game it has been so far, and I think the scoreboard is a fair reflection of the two teams. If we've seen at various times one team were dominating, but it's been very even Stevens on both ends of this game.
Definitely, Ash, and I think at this point in time, as the scores are all level, it's going to be the benches is going to have to come up and make that difference and really secure the victory for both sides at this point in time, as we saw a full front row replacement from the Raiders side.
Cameron, the man wearing the number 15 jersey for the Raiders, capturing that ball, kicking it into touch. Solid kick, beautiful distance. Well done, Cameron.
Quality rugby, clearing, getting the ball clearing, finding touch.
It's a perfect exit once again, and we would like to see this Raiders team now really applying pressure on this line-out. They've got fresh men on the field to really put pressure on Masindi and his throw to not give the Pirate side another attacking opportunity.
Masindi struggled with that first line-out throw, but he's grown in confidence in terms of the next few line-outs that we've seen. Let's see what he does with this ball. Going for a deep throw there, fortunately being captured by the Pirates. By the Pirates Rugby Club.
Solid up and under there. But good and solid take there by James Bester. Solid under the high ball. Ball is now with Raiders.
Raiders looking for options. They're going straight forward, trying to break the defensive line of the Pirates Rugby Club. Looking for that opportunity. What an absolutely beautiful break.
And that might have been an early tackle there, but unfortunately referee did not agree. Just a knock-on and pressure relief from the Pirates.
Pirates can breathe a sigh of relief. There was big momentum there in terms of the Raiders looking for that opportunity, looking for that gap, and they found it. And it seems that the Raiders have decided to go for 3 more points that they want to add to their tally. We are reaching the latter part of the game, Ashwin, and it's one of those where at this point the boys are getting a little bit physical, and it's also that time in the game where we are seeing a few niggles, we are seeing injuries being a big part of the conversation as well.
Yes, it is a season opener, and for a season opener to be as flamboyant as what we've seen, and Raiders having shown, just the support runners supporting the ball carrier, being able to come on and be there as an additional option. And so it's really been good to see how well structured both teams have been able to orchestrate their defense as well as their attack, getting up, working hard off the ground. So it really, again, and mentioned this back before, but it is sort of heads up to the coaching staff for having prepared their teams so well.
Yeah, Ashley, this is the season opener. I'm excited for what's to come. We know these are 2 of the top teams in the competition. We haven't seen all the other games. We haven't had a chance to keep an eye on. But definitely, if this is the standard going forward, I can definitely think we're in for some exciting rugby, but also seeing 1 or 2 players here getting opportunity at higher honours.
Club rugby at its finest, as we see yet another scrum at about the 25-meter mark.
We're also looking forward to sort of go with these teams throughout the competition this year, and just trying to really see how the teams evolve, how the teams develop further. But so far, a phenomenal display of rugby, club rugby at its best.
We see another close collision about to happen here. Really lovely to see what the bomb squad, as we called them earlier, from Raiders will be able to do between Kumalo, Malchas and Rakoma. Fresh men on the field can really apply pressure here on this attacking scrum. Just a little reset there in proceedings. Hookers needing to take ownership of this. This is really where you want your front row just to lay the foundation, and the back 5, that synergy we spoke about earlier, really be tight. Bring your feet up after the hit. You want to make sure that you catch up with your feet really quickly, get into a powerful position. As that ball is fed to the scrum, you can just explode and get that dominance.
You should expect a massive scrum here from Raiders. They've got, as we said, the bomb squad is up, and they're ready to put in the effort.
Pirates Rugby Club putting that ball into the scrum. The scrummy there looking for opportunities as he chooses a short pass. Pirates building momentum, building territory, moving closer and closer into the Raiders' half. The Raiders also playing with an incredibly high defensive line, not being shy, not moving back, staying firm.
Pirates are able to sort of just continue with their attack. The Raiders' defensive line still holding strong.
Pirates are asking questions right in the middle of the field, 50-meter mark. We've seen in these opportunities earlier on, when Pirates can't break the defensive line, they choose to go for a kick. They choose to kick into touch, but at this point they're choosing to run the ball. They continue to run that ball. It is Matthew. As this man moves the Raiders players out his way, Raiders being able to hold on to him.
Itu Mpete coming off his wing, cutting back in, but it's Raiders fighting for the ball there, keeping him up. What a win. That must be a psychological win there, Fabian, if you think of it, that one. What an encounter it has been.
Most definitely, great scramble defense from the Raiders side. That's just pure guts and determination. That's all you want, protecting your try line, not allowing any points to get scored. At this point of the game, any points could be the match-winning points, and at that point in time, just denying a Pirates team who has capitalized on every opportunity, and I believe that's the first time with a visit in the 22 they haven't been able to do that.
In fact, we think back that Pirates played literally for, I think, was 7 to 8, if not 10 phases from the set phase scrum, being able to play all the way, and it was there off the wing into Mbete, taking that ball up. But what a defensive effort it was by the Raiders.
Now, once again, so the backs have done their job. Now it's back to the pack of forwards to get a steady scrum here, solid exit. The previous one, we expected a bit of an onslaught, didn't come from the Raiders side. They would just need a similar setup, just a steady scrum at this point in time. Easy exit, get out of their back 50 and start playing from there once again. And as the ball's fed, we've got a solid scrum. Scrummy deciding to play against the wheel of the scrum, but it's an attacking play from Raiders in their own 22.
A loose ball there, and it is Pirates a snatch on it. Is this the opportunity that Pirates been looking for? Oh, what a wonderful grubber just going through it. Pirates giving away the ball. Defensive line still holds strong, and a welcome relief kick there by Raiders, and now the chase is on.
The chase is on. Raiders hunting down that ball. Pirates taking their time with this one.
Complete shift in momentum. You can see players on the field all walking, but it's still not over.
Unfortunately, that ball not going into touch. Raiders looking to capitalize. As the ref calls them back and says, Cameron from the Raiders, relax, breathe, calm down.
Cameron left goes on happy, saying, no, I was all the way through, ref. Let me go.
He envisioned his way to the try line, probably had a celebration planned already, so he was very excited.
No, but he's played well so far this game also. We've seen him coming out, and really in the second half, he's really sort of upped his game. There's a lot of players that really put their hand up. I think as we get towards the close of this game, even Stevens still on the scoreboard, and you know, a lot of players have been sort of playing well throughout this game. There's been the different try scorers for either team as well. And then unfortunately, Lentwood in that one having to be called back by the team. But what a shift in momentum it has been, going from the one end of the field to the other end of the field. And yeah, it's a phenomenal attacking opportunity for Raiders.
This is also one of those where you can mention that the two teams have been well conditioned in terms of fitness levels. We are 72 minutes actually into this encounter, and it is one of those where I would say that the conditioning in terms of pre-season, well done to the coaches, because seeing end-to-end rugby like this in the 72nd minute of the game is something that the fans are enjoying, and also the scoreboard is a good reflection of what we've seen. The momentum hasn't stopped. It's not like we're seeing the lads slowing down, running a little bit less. I mean, contrary to popular belief, the game is getting faster and faster.
100%, and I think, as we said, another attacking scrum, but great decision-making here from the Raiders side, from the captaincy, whether that call came from the touch to opt for the scrum and not the line-out, which they've been struggling with, and they've got the good shoulder here, but great defense from the Pirates side.
Unfortunately, the Raiders losing that opportunity on impact, that ball going forward, unfortunately not being able to hold on to the ball. We spoke about crunch time, the ability to make the right decision during these key moments, because the Raiders could have opted to go for the 3 points, choosing not to, but unfortunately not holding on to the ball when it matters the most, as we're about to see another scrum.
Yeah, that was defensive brilliance, tackling right onto the ball carrier exposing the ball and tackling right onto the ball, and the ball popping out there as a consequence.
Not every Sinitemba has been a great threat all day long. He scored 2 tries, one in the first, one in the second half. Unfortunately, on that occasion, not able to make his presence felt, but great defense, and has a back 50 scrum here for the Pirates, and they'll be hoping for easy exit here, but it's the man, Cameron Lentwood, probing in the back, looking for an attacking opportunity should this kick from the scrum not find touch.
That scrum going the way of the Raiders team, making it count, which is such an important scrum to win. So close to that try line. And of course the question is, are we going for points?
No, there's no question.
The captain making the right decision right there. It's 6 minutes choosing to go for the 3 points. Ashwin?
Yeah, this is the moment where you want your captain to be the kicker. Says, give me the ball, give me the ball, give me the ball. No, they could just
There's
hear
no
all
debate
the
in this one. There's no debate. Give me the ball.
You could
And
hear
also-
all the fans here, the Raiders fans, all shouting, poles, poles, poles.
And he's made great decisions throughout this game. He does it again. 100% of the kicking tee.
There's been so many great players here throughout this match so far today, but I think, you know, if we really have to ask the one player that have really been outstanding throughout, even when it was going tough for Raiders in the beginning phases of this game, he's not just been a captain, a leader on the field, but also the points he's scored, the distribution so far. So I think, gentlemen, if there were to be a man of the match, then I think well deserved by the captain, John Kubeka.
100%. The Pirates Rugby Club, they've got 5 minutes on the board, looking to make a difference. The Raiders, of course, will be looking to ensure that they remain disciplined. They don't want to leave any penalties. They're choosing to run this ball out of their territory, holding on. Pirates Rugby Club getting the penalty.
This is where your home ground advantage matters. You know, the fans are up, they're supporting their team. They're saying, come, do this for us. What a season opener, gentlemen.
It's been absolutely brilliant. Of course, we spoke about it a little bit earlier in terms of injuries, the niggles. The lads will be feeling them on the field at this point in time. We are seeing a little bit of medical attention, but this is also an opportunity, Fabian, for both teams to just breathe, grab a quick water, a quick huddle, and make the right decisions and say, where are we in this game? Are we closing it off?
Aaron, there's a reason why they call this last 10-minute period of the game championship minutes. This is where you really need to hold your nerve, make sure, keep your composure, decision-making, the key decision makers within the team, just speaking to the guys, making sure everyone understands their role, what's the plan going forward, and it's really just basics from this point on. You don't want to concede unnecessary penalties, so clean rucks, make your hits, and just make sure you don't play in your halves. As we've seen from both kickers today, they've been very deadly converting their points when needing to do so. So any penalty conceded at this point in time in your own back 50, you can be sure it's going to be points against you.
Ashwin, I'd love to bring you in here. Let's put on your skipper cap as we're seeing a break in play. We have seen Ethan Anderson kick so beautifully for the Pirates Rugby Club. We are about, let's call it, 45 meters away from the Raiders try line. Do you risk it at this point? There's 4 minutes on the clock. Do you risk it? Do you kick into touch? In terms of crucial decisions, what would you do if you were the captain of this rugby team?
I think, you know, first and foremost, you know, in this instance, you want to take the points. So if it's within his range, within the distance, then, you know, go for it and take it. If not, then go for that option, the line-out option. They've taken the line-out option before. So Pirates, in fact, the last try that they've scored has been from a line-out option. So Pirates really does have the ability to, you know, they've opted the driving mauls. We've seen since he's been on Masindi, he's been finding his jumpers, so they do have that opportunity. Otherwise, if it's within your range, go out and take the points. There's still enough time there for a play if you were to get a 3 points play after that. But you know, if you want to go for the game, go for the win, go to the touch, and then play from there.
Yes, I think from this point and the decision being made going for touch is a clear intent that Pirates are going to win this game. And they're wanting to win this game in front of their home crowd.
You could hear their home crowd, they're immediately raising their voice.
Yes.
You know, this is their home. They've got home ground advantage, and this we really want to see.
Pirates Rugby Club leaning on the supports that they have in the stands, the vocal voices. They have taken a decision to say we want to get a try, we want to move closer and closer. And of course, Fabian, from the Raiders side, discipline and focus is vital. Rolling Mole here from the Pirates Rugby Club, so close to the try line, about 5 meters out. That Rolling Mole continues to go. Does he get it down? Does it touch down? As we wait closely, as we watch the ref. Is it held up?
In fact, everybody's waiting in anticipation there.
The Raiders players seem to be celebrating there. Has that ball been held up?
The referee is just consulting with his assistant referee on the sideline, trying to see if there was any piece of that ball touching one blade of grass.
The fans are vocal, the fans are getting involved. Are we going to see a scrum?
The Mets referee, Austin Richardson, well as I think it's Aya Troy Masingi consulting.
These are also crucial moments for the refs to make big decisions, because any call that's made in this situation can determine the game. The game is so close, 3 minutes left in this encounter. It is 37 points to the Raiders to 34 points to the Pirates Rugby Club.
Oh, great decision making there. Just go straight back. You've seen some reward. Just get the ball, put it, stack it up, and they've seen that rolling ball. They've gotten great momentum. They're five meters out from the try line. This time, just make sure they've got a second opportunity, probably the last opportunity in this game to really close it out for the Pirates side.
Masindi has been the trusted man for the Pirates Rugby Club, trusted with this line out. Unfortunately not capturing that ball, a wasted opportunity, but they still have it, the Pirates Rugby Club. 2 minutes left in this encounter. The Raiders will be looking to ensure that they remain focused, that defensive line remains incredibly strong. Pirates asking questions, being physical.
Solid defense there from Raiders. You can see the defensive line holding strong.
What an absolutely beautiful start to the season, end-to-end stuff until the last minutes of the game. Pirates have got that ball. They'll be looking for an opportunity. They'll be looking to spread that ball. Scrummy in position, looking left and right. Chooses to go left.
Enormous defensive effort here, Fabian. If you look at the Raiders holding strong and going up solid and hard on the defensive line.
No, great stuff. And as we say that, as they've held and withheld and held strong, as we get a turnover, and they'll be looking to clear their try line here, and it's almost certainty that they will be able to close out that game.
What an absolutely beautiful turnover there for the Raiders.
Gigantic effort there by Raiders.
Big moments.
Enormous.
Big moments. You spoke about it earlier, Fabian. You said this is where games are won, the last 10 minutes. And the Raiders have most certainly made the right calls. They've made the right decisions. And they've shown up in terms of their defensive structure, because they could have easily lost this game due to that rolling ball that we saw earlier from the Pirates Rugby Club.
100%, Aaron, and even more so the guts and determination to attempt the steal on your own try line, because it's almost most certainly points. So kudos to the Raiders and the defensive effort for this game.
End-to-end stuff.
Nail-biting effort.
It's a nail-biting one. What an absolutely beautiful advertisement for the rest of this Castle Lager Pirates Grand Challenge. If this is the standard of club rugby in the country, wow. What an absolutely exciting season lies ahead.
It has been a wonderful experience to be part of this broadcast, and I'm sure that we'll be seeing these teams moving further in this competition. And what a display of rugby there's been as an opener, a season opener. Phenomenal game to watch.
The Raiders have got ball in hand in what could be possibly the last line out of this game. They're choosing to spread the ball, trusting themselves, choosing not to kick in such a crucial situation. Focus, discipline from the Raiders will be vital. Captain by captain going for the box kick. Unfortunately, the Pirates man there that has kicked so well, Ethan Anderson, not grabbing that ball cleanly. Big question is, why didn't he kick into touch, Ashwin?
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're aware that the clock has run out.
Pirates Rugby Club securing that penalty, Fabian. Crucial times, decision making.
Once again, decision making coming to the forefront as the man we've praised all game long for his decision making on that one. Just the error. Maybe it was unknown, but unfortunately not kicking it out, which just brought back the Pirates in the game. So really crucial here just to get a line out once again, put them in a position, get the attack going, and it's going to be we need another effort like we saw on defense earlier from the Raiders side to keep Pirates out here.
End-to-end stuff. I love the fact that this game is locked and loaded until the last few minutes of it. I mean, looking at the stands, everyone is standing, everyone is involved, everyone is asking themselves the question, can the Pirates Rugby Club turn things around? We spoke about the momentum. Pirates Rugby Club had the momentum during the latter part of the first half, and what an absolutely beautiful second half by the Raiders. From the start, they've dominated the second half. Now they just need to close it off.
Another sorted line out here from the Pirates team. Beautiful take, and I think it will be another attacking opportunity in the midfield for them.
Pirates are asking questions, moving deeper and deeper into the Raiders territory. Looking for those gaps. It is the man wearing number 21. What a big moment! What a big moment! They call it a smash and grab. The last few minutes of the game.
Archie Quacker with the stolen goods.
Your smash and grab. The local supporters are getting involved. Club rugby at its finest. We've praised the Raiders throughout the second half, but when it matters most, and Ashwin, you did ask that question, should they have kicked into touch when John Makunda had the ball there? Unfortunately not making that decision, and this game going the way of the Pirates Rugby Club in the last few seconds, not minutes, seconds of the game.
Oh, what a moment that was. If there was a moment in that game, this was the moment.
Definitely celebrations all around as we watch Anderson trying to convert, and he does so successfully.
What an absolutely beautiful game that we've seen right here at the Pirates Rugby Club. The fans have been involved. The play in terms of the action that we saw on the field, it's been absolutely exciting. And I have to say that the second half was leaning towards the Raiders, decision making not going their ways, and the local team, the home team, the Pirates Rugby Club, ensuring that they secure their first victory of the season. A victory that will most certainly give them a lot of confidence heading into the rest of the season.
Massive confidence booster for the home side securing the victory. In the final stages, it was almost down and out. Raiders secured, they were on their way, ready for celebrations. They had the bottles out, the spectators were cheering, and at the death, it was the man, Kwata, who came in with the goods and produced it at the end. Beautiful rugby that we've seen here today, and both teams, as much as there has to be a winner and a loser, both teams can be proud of the effort and the showcase they put on for us today.
So often we talk about it's not over until the fat lady sings, Ashwin, and it wasn't over. I mean, in the last few seconds of this game, the Pirates Rugby Club being able to make that right decision, being able to find that gap, and they didn't stop. They just kept on going and going until they got that final try that led to them winning this game with a 41 to 37 point scoreline.
Yeah, what a win it was by Pirates. And you see this game has been even Stevens all the way, right up until the very end. But it was the decision making, deciding to go to touch. An enormous defensive effort it was by Raiders, but unfortunately, right there in the end, deciding to kick that ball away. And it just shows you yet again, how important it is to understand, the time on the clock, understand how much more time is left to play. But unfortunately for Raiders, right at the very end you saw. But let's face it, this is home ground advantage for Pirates. Let's face it, Pirates have dominated the first component or the first part of the first half. So it has really been a game where if you look at any team would deserve it of winning, but I think it was the home ground advantage. They got the ball right at the end of the match, and it was just that home ground advantage spurring them on. So a phenomenal performance by Pirates, and they're well-deserved winners.
Yeah, all about staying in the moment, Ash. I think it's about being present, being in the moment, being aware, knowing what's on the clock. They speak about spatial awareness and understanding that on the field, and I think that's something that we've seen from this Pirates side today. They identified space, they were able to attack that space and capitalize on it.
If you think about it, I say right throughout this game it was close call. Who will be the man of the match? We've had John Kubeka there to be our nominated man of the match, but I think, given the winners of this game, I think the guy to take it there, Dragon should be the man of the match given how he's performed throughout this game. So I think, well-deserved man of the match performance there also by Dragon for Pirates.
100%. Dragon has displayed phenomenal ball sense. He's been on the ground, working really hard. In the loose, he's been able to win that advantage line battle for Pirates, putting them on the front foot and getting their backs the opportunity to really exploit space on the outside. So very well played, very deserved winner of the Man of the Match award.
In terms of the players that you've highlighted there, John being one of the key players for the Raiders. Unfortunately, he'll be the captain of this side. In my mind, I'm looking at the rest of the season. Of course, they've made a mistake during the latter part of the second half? What are some of the areas that he will be looking to focus on throughout the rest of the season? Because they were so close, and these are games that you should be converting into points, and you can't be losing games during such crucial moments.
In fact, if you're gonna lose a game, this is how you want to lose a game. You know, right up until the very end. You know, it was just a critical error at the end. In fact, the scoreboard was in the favor of Raiders. They had everything going their way, and just that last kick that didn't go into touch. If they kept that ball for one or two more phases, they had the momentum, and we've seen how they were able to actually defend their breakdown, are they able to recycle their ball. So it's just the judgment, lapse in judgment there on the side of Raiders. But that's something that I'm sure they'll be able to fix as the season goes along. But to come here, being at Pirates, playing Pirates at home and putting up such a performance, you know, Pirates last year's finalist, they've won this tournament 2 years ago, so a solid team, and their home supporters, they were on their feet towards the latter part of this game, standing, cheering their team on.
Since it's really about putting together 80-minute performance, and we've spoken about momentum shifts throughout the game, and in that first half it was a Raiders team who just wasn't present on the field. They didn't display what they were capable of, and we saw that during the second half. So you ask Aaron about lessons learned, taking it forward into the campaign. It's going to take a solid 80-minute performance from them, from number one straight through to the guys coming from the bench, to really for them, and I can assure you they'll be competitive throughout this competition.
We spoke about the big talking point in the first half and the second half, the lineouts. That has been such a crucial part in this game. That's where one would argue, that's where certain opportunities could have gone the way of either team. I mean, in terms of that second half, it was Michael Masindi being able to step up, being able to put his hand up and saying, "Coach, you might have put me on the bench, but if there's an opportunity looking into the rest of the season, I would love to start a game for you." He came on as a replacement for Liam, who was unfortunately injured there, but he put up his hand quite nicely. And during those crucial moments, of course, that first one didn't necessarily go to hand. We can argue that maybe he was a little bit nervous, but from that point, he was able to control it so nicely from when he started on this side and towards the latter part of the game, where he was able to insert the ball so nicely that it almost led to that rolling maul being able to score a try.
Definitely, Aaron. I think we see that throughout from a Springbok level between Bongi and Malcolm, how they're able to substitute those players, and the level of play and standard doesn't drop at all. And that's the same thing we see with Liam and Masindi today. He really was a valiant replacement and made sure that he got the job done for them at the end.
But a solid performance all round, both teams. Early season opener, set phases has been challenging at times, but I think overall this game, what a wonderful display of rugby we've seen, and congratulations to Pirates for a phenomenal win.
Well done to the Pirates Rugby Club being able to win this game with a 41-37 point scoreline against the Raiders. A beautiful start of this particular season. In terms of the highlights, if you missed the action that we saw live right here in Randburg, just make sure that you tune in to SABC2 tomorrow at 12 o'clock, as we've got a highlight package created just for you. We have now seen the wrap-up of the first game of the season. It is the Castle Lager Pirates Grand Challenge. That first game going the way of the local team, the Pirates Rugby Club, stealing it at the death, 41 points to 37 points. Unfortunately, the Raiders not making the right decisions towards the latter part of the game. Fabian, I would love to bring you in here. We spoke about it throughout the game. Decision making. In terms of the forward pack, an area that I know that you were watching quite closely, where did the Raiders lose this particular encounter?
Aaron, as we mentioned at the start of the game, the set phase dominance was going to be really important towards the latter part of this game. We saw towards the end in the final minutes, Raiders getting a crucial penalty from a scrum. And then similarly so, I think throughout the game, what has functioned well for the home side has been their line-out, in their scrum, which they've capitalized on every opportunity. Unfortunately, throughout this game, Raiders just didn't put enough pressure on the line-out of the Pirates side to really give them a fighting chance. And in matter of the scrum, slippery conditions, just technique that really let them down at this point in time. Something to learn from for the rest of the campaign going forward. But at this point in time, that's just where the Pirates had enough on this day to tip them.
Ashwin, an area that you were watching quite closely is the backs, the wings, and We spoke about it at the start of the game. We said that because it was raining, conditions will be a little bit slippery, it will be a little bit wet. We were asking the question, will the players choose to play slow rugby? But we saw the contrary. We saw them running and being able to move the ball quite quickly as well.
I think it was a wonderful display of rugby, you know, and oftentimes one thing, the weather conditions would make you play a particular way, but I think today we saw both teams playing the opportunity. And whenever there was an opportunity to sift the ball, they were not afraid of the weather conditions, were not afraid of the heavy field, and that was good to see. And you know, once your forwards lay a foundation, which we've seen today, we've talked countless times, you know, even scrappy ball from a line out, struggling scrums, you were able to see how the back line would just be able to take that ball and just put up phases after phases. So it was really an interesting first half. In the second half, if you think about it, how Raiders just came back in the second half. So I was very impressed by the rugby in general. Season opener, this high quality, I think it's laying the foundation for what's to come for the remainder of the tournament. So exciting stuff to look forward to, and you know, the pace on the wingers, both sides. You know, whenever there was an opportunity to run with the ball, you saw that both teams were running, were willing to take on the defenders. What I was really also impressed with was just the organization of play. Both teams, again, you know, the organization of play, both on attack and defense. And whenever the momentum was with the team, you could see that it was a considered approach to the game, whether it was the set phases, whether it was just a continuation of play, running the momentum, playing the players into space, the support players coming on. So I think it was a phenomenal display of rugby, and I was very encouraged to see the quality that was laid out. I was very encouraged to see the fitness levels and the conditioning of the players so early on in the season.
Fabian, in terms of one of the key players of this particular encounter, Pukke, the skipper of the Raiders, a man who made the right decisions during most of this game, unfortunately not getting the results towards the end of the game. Some of the vital lessons that the Raiders will take into the rest of the season, because they were so close this afternoon.
Yeah, definitely. I think Pukke has been a standout for them, leading from the front. That's exactly what you want to see from your leader, from your captain, taking charge. What we did mention throughout the game is really the decision making that's been phenomenal from his end. But on top of that, really players to try and understand and really assist him in that role. When he does attack the gain line, who's taking over to manage play from there on, because that was lacking within the first half. Second half, we saw that coming to fruition, and he was really able just to express himself. Unfortunately, with the latter part, not staying in the moment, not maybe aware of the time, but also, once again, it's a team effort. But he'll take that forward. It's a lesson learned, and I can promise you a player of his caliber will only go to strength from here.
Ashwin, just a quick one before we wrap up. We have to talk about the man of the match, the man that they call the Dragon, the man that was so vital in terms of the Pirates Rugby Club being able to get this game over the line. What did he do well this afternoon? And in terms of confidence, how confident will he be throughout the rest of the season?
As a loose forward, I think he was so impressive in that how he just were able to sort of join the back line, be an option in the back line, and then you saw him, he wasn't trying to run into the defenders, he was trying to find the space. So he was an addition, so he was the extra man that Pirates needed today, right up until the end. So, you know, he put up such an enormous performance, both on defense as well as in attack. The basics, when it was a scrum time, he was there to scrum. When he needed to ruck and be at a ruck. And I think that's perhaps the one area of the game where if there was a focus area where I feel like the Pirates' loose forward trio will really worked so hard was at the breakdown, the quick recycling of the ball at the breakdown, to get there, to protect their ball at the breakdown. But I think for Dragon, what a game he's had. He scored also a phenomenal try, so a well-deserved man of the match.
Absolutely brilliant performance by the man that we call the Dragon, a man that got the local supporters active on their feet, and of course at the end a big celebration as the Pirates Rugby Club pulled a smash and grab in the final few seconds of the game. If that is the standard that we'll see throughout the rest of the season, I'm sure that you'll be locked in to the action that we will be seeing for this Castle Lager Pirates Grand Challenge. An exciting season lies ahead. Make sure that you keep it locked to SABC Sports for the latest club rugby action throughout South Africa.